Wellington County is home to the Fergus Scottish Festival. It's also home to a meadow and an apple orchard that is like many other meadows in places that the Scots settled. But it is unlike other fields in this area of Wellington County, as it is a place that training for heavy events has happened, including many champions who have competed at the games in Fergus over the years. This is the stone put. The most ancient of the Scottish heavy events. The point here is to take this field stone, a Wellington County field stone in this case, perhaps out of a riverbed or out of a plowed field, and to throw it for distance. The athletes are all kilted. Even though this is a practice, they're in fine Scottish form, and they're going to throw from behind this toe board for maximum distance. You'll see here momentarily a glide technique, which is popular in shot put as well, which again is the modern equivalent of the stone put, using a cannon shot and putting out for distance, although from a concrete circle. Here, it is grass. And that was a glide style that you saw. And now another athlete preparing to throw the stone, and this time will be with a spin technique. So you've seen a variety here: shuffle, a glide, and a spin momentarily, shooting out for big distances, which in a competition again would be marked to see the winner of the individual discipline. The weight throws. Another event that you're missing at the Fergus Scottish Festival this year. Here, the athletes take a heavy weight and throw it one-handed for maximum distance over that toe board, trying to best their opponents. A heavy weight is used in the open or professional competition, as you might have seen at the Worlds had they gone ahead this year, which will be happening next year in 2021. The athletes can take 1 or 2 turns. It matters not. Whatever they can fit into that 9-foot approach up to the toe board, and they throw it for distance. Professionals throw 56 pounds or a 4-stone weight using the old Scottish 100-weight system. 1 stone equals 14 pounds. It has its origins in old miller's weights, which the men in Scotland would have thrown for distance. I'll beat you, they say. And up next here we see Steve Clark throwing the Masters or 42-pound weight, a 3-stone weight, for distance. Again, with the 2-turn style, going for distance. In the women's and the juniors competition, you see the heavyweight thrown is a 28-pound weight, as you see here with Fraser Clark of Elora. Hammer time. You can see here the Scottish hammer is a solid shafted hammer, and it does have its origins in pounding fence posts and other farm tools that you could imagine. Here we see the athlete winding it around their head. The difference between the Scottish hammer and the wire hammer that you might know from track and field is that the athletes must stay standing, to the point that you can see the athletes here are using bayonets on their boots or hammer blades to help keep them in place, not only to honor the rule of standing, but also to make sure their feet don't begin floating on the ground and them losing purchase. They throw each a light and a heavy hammer, and you can see here the athlete digging in, the blades going under the turf, and then making 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 winds as they choose. There is no rule. It's whatever the athletes best do to push it out for distance. And there's so much to talk about here with this last event for you today, and that is the world-famous caber toss. The athletes take the caber, and they're going to try to throw it for accuracy, not like distance in every other event that you've seen so far here today. The first part of the throw is called the pick. You just saw this athlete make a pick, and they will begin the run down the field and try to turn it end over end and make a good throw. So what is a good throw? People often ask at the games. And a good throw is one that falls straight away from the athlete to a 12 o'clock position, which we will see here momentarily. This athlete, Owen Willems of Guelph, is about to pick the caber. You'll see it picked up into the palms of his hands. He'll adjust it, and then he'll begin heading down the field, establishing his line. The judge in a competition would be following on this line and then would be looking for the caber to be thrown straight away from the athlete, much like you see here. The perfect straightaway throw is at 12 o'clock. Owen goes wild for the crowd. And now Steve Clark takes the caber.
They're heavy. You got to do 13 guys and 3 throws each.
And he's going to make a run at it as well. Many athletes have practiced at this meadow, Morley's Meadow in Alma, Ontario, just near the game site, over the years. Stephen Aiken and Bruce Aiken of Scotland have made a stopover to train here while in the country between Fergus and other games. And the junior competition that Fergus hosted just a few years ago, the Canadian Junior Championship, all the juniors came and participated in a developmental training camp here on this field. This caber will be a Wellington County cedar, so it is a locally grown tree, and it is selected to be straight. For the big professionals, a bigger, longer, heavier stick might be used. It might be over 100 pounds even. For the younger, newer athletes, someone like a junior competitor, or maybe in the women's division, the caber might be shorter. It might be 15 feet or so and lighter, maybe 50 pounds. So the caber is not a standard weight like the other events that you saw, like the weights for distance that are very standardized, but it is whatever tree is on hand and locally available to the athletes. Now remember, next year, in 2021, Fergus will be hosting the World Championships. The biggest and the best of the world will be on the field in Fergus, and we might even see that challenge caber with thousands of dollars on its bounty coming to be turned by those great champions. Hasty back, 2021 World Championships.